How to stage a memorable, beautiful performance while studying? Students of the Karpenko-Kyiv University of Theatre, Film and Television know best. To do this, you should choose the classics and risk staging a musical. In today's program, watch about the eternal and beautiful love of the modern-day interpretation of the Shakespearean classic play Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, composed by Leonard Bernstein. When I was a child, he put Bernstein's records on for me, and it was exactly West Side Story. Of course, I took the musical as a basis, but in addition to that, I also took my life into account. And here I have a role total of resistance, though it's extremely interesting and very complicated. You have an unexpected discovery for yourself and think, oh, you can do it like that. I think it's a performance definitely worth coming to watch. Of course, it brings people joy. It all started when the head of the acting course at the Karpenko-Kyiv University, Evgenia Hulakina, showed the famous American film version of the cult musical of the 1960s West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein to her students. The students were impressed by Shakespeare's tragedy of young lovers and its interpretation in a contemporary way. So full of inspiration and energy, students decided to stage a graduation performance of this classic in their own way. When Evgenia showed us the film, we became so interested in what we saw that we immediately fell in love with it. And then Anatoly suggested, let's do this musical. And Evgenia ordered, let's make the role distribution. You're going to play this character, and you're going to play that one. And that was it. We immediately began working on it.
Поділ, тобто ти граєш того, і все. І все, і ми почали працювати.
Well, to begin with, our famous actor, people's artist of Ukraine, Anatoly Kostikoyev, was involved. What's more, he was also the director of this performance. In my opinion, West Side Story is a work that deserves to be and should be staged every year. For students, there is definitely something to work on. They should know how to sing, have good plasticity, and also be a dramatic actor. It's with no doubt, in my mind, a fantastic school for each and every actor. It was such a joy, it was such a happy return to the past and an advance to the future at the same time, because this musical will be relevant for time immemorial, just like Romeo and Juliet. As Hulakina says, the important thing is that the students show their graduation performance on the stage of the university, which works almost like a professional theater, and it's a great start in their careers. It is very important for students when they study, so it is equally important after their graduation. They go out into a new world, start working, and that first success is invaluable for them for the rest of their lives. The immortal story of Shakespeare moved to New York by the playwright Arthur Lawrence, and Ukrainian actor and director Anatoly Kostikoyev brought it closer to the 2000s, reinforcing the energy and drive of youth. The students play the roles of teenagers, but in the setting of America of the 1950s. And so I think Evgenia, knowing her students, did the right thing by choosing West Side Story as a classic example. We're playing in the story about our time, about us. We have been looking for a metaphor for a very long time. Who would we make of them? For example, modern football fans or even some people who are members of gangs. But then we realized we were playing the story of Romeo and Juliet, and everything which was 1, 2, 3,000 years ago is still there today. The love story is destined to have a tragic ending because there is a fierce rivalry in it. This time, two street gangs, the Rockets and Sharks, the Anglo-Saxons and Puerto Ricans, are fighting for domination in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Two young lovers from different clans, Tony and Maria, are trying to save their love in a world of hatred and violence. Unfortunately, the finale is tragic, as in Shakespearean's work, and only death brings the enemies to put an end to this rivalry by calling a truce and living together in peace. I'm glad that Vyacheslav played the role of Tony. It's a positive role, but it is very complicated. It's more difficult than playing Bernardo. I think this is a great experience for him. The student performance raises extremely sensitive and topical issues. The actors convey an important message to the audience. Namely, adults should pay greater attention to their children, in particular their insecurity growing up in a modern world of love, hardships, peer pressure, competition, and in general, life in the fast lane. There is a problem of misunderstanding between generations, between parents and children. Many conflicts occur because adults don't understand youth. We staged a performance about it, and this is precisely what Anatoly Hostikoev tried to convey to the audience in his modern-day interpretation. It seems to me that today the problem of generations is highly topical, and that's why I wanted to bring this topic to the foremost of people's awareness. My desire, the wish of my generation, is to understand those children for whom it is very difficult to get a grip on what exactly is happening in the world they must live in. And people understand something only when irreparable damage is done, just like with Romeo and Juliet. We're staging the story to convey the message that people understand what have they done only after some tragic event. But I want to believe that they have realized this enmity is not worth this death, this broken fate of those people who have died for nothing. Such performances as West Side Story, where all the roles are interesting, give actors a chance to express themselves and reveal their creative potential. And actors are very fortunate when they get such an opportunity while studying in university.
В принципі, мій тато, він грав Бернардо. От Паша грає цю роль.
In fact, my dad once played Bernardo. Now Pavlo plays this role. After father did it his way. To say the least, his performance was spectacular and legendary in the play. However, it's not the main character, it's one of many. But he played it in such a way that he made the audience pay attention only to his character.
Тобто він брав увагу.
When I was playing Bernardo, I was always running. I don't exaggerate. I don't know how I managed to do it. I literally hung in the air. I had those fights, they looked like a freeze frame. Well, after all, I was only 18 years old back then. When Anatoly Hostikoev was a student of this university in the 1970s, he played in the legendary play West Side Story on the same stage, and now he prepared a new reading of it at his alma mater 43 years later. Well, back then, it was the first time in Ukraine. We staged a great performance, and it was difficult to get tickets for it. And now the story repeats. There are very talented students. We used to work in this performance with Irina Molodtsova. Anatoly Hostikoev studied during this performance, and I played in it. Of course, we felt like we were flying. Well, what would you expect? After all, this is a fast-paced musical and a fantastic dramatic masterpiece.
Нам потрібно лікувати. Мій батько б'є маму. Мама б'є дідуся. Дідусь дуріє.
Бабуся, все здуріла.
Сестра з мусом.
А брат з пітьми.
Ну як можна бути нормальним?
Of course, there is a certain risk when Anatoly Hostikoev decided to stage the West Side Story with students playing in it. The musical is not a very familiar genre for a university curriculum. Moreover, in due time, this play became a truly revolutionary phenomenon. The West Side Story changed the opinion of theatergoers about the musical itself. Indeed, they no longer thought of it as of some lightweight genre. The author presented a high tragedy accompanied by the brilliant music of the remarkable and ingenious composer Leonard Bernstein. The stunning music by Bernstein, and then the realization that he has Ukrainian roots. Realizing all that confirms that it was the right decision to stage West Side Story at the Kyiv University Theatre. Synthetic performances are always risky for dramatic actors, where they have to sing, dance, and perform all that showmanship at the same time. Each actor should be able to do everything. They should know how to sing and make a double track, and of course lip-sync. While working on the musical, the students learned a lot. For example, they mastered the technique of performing songs, the so-called double track. The teacher Ludmila Tretiak helped the students with the songs in English. My father came up with this. It's a great technique. When the viewer sits in the hall, he must hear 100% quality sound when the double track is used. That means the original. And we sing along with it, with this original sound. It was my idea, but I'm convinced that an actor of a drama theater should be able to do everything, including lip-singing. As the great modern classic Yevgen Tatarchenko said, everyone can sing live, but just try to lip-sync. It's much more difficult, and I completely agree with him.
Suddenly I thought how beautiful this sound could be. Maria.
І коли я вчив пісню «Марія», це було складно, дійсно, коли...
When I was learning the song Maria, it was really difficult. When we worked with Ludmila Tretak, she really wanted us to sing in English, so that the performance would sound in the original language. She drilled us, you must sing in English, and we learned all the English lyrics so that everything would turn out well.
Так воно все гарно і вийшло.
Yevgenia Hulakina said that having taken up the production of the musical, the entire team worked on the project, the director Anatoly Khostikoev, the choreographer Dmitro Karakets, and naturally, the students themselves.
Ми дуже довго думали.
It took us a long time to come up with an interesting idea, and we have created these ropes and this building that was constructed. They recreate the atmosphere of those times.
От того часу.
We have practiced for a long time to do it. Our choreographer Dmitro Karakets put us under a lot of stress in order for us to have the necessary flexibility to perform at our best. What did he do to them? How did he achieve this? How did he break the ice? Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. I can only take my hats off.
Каракуц надзвичайно талановита людина.
Karakets is a very talented person, and I'm grateful to him that he took up this very complicated choreography. But no one expected the children to dance. It was necessary to play this genre. The musical is not easy.
Мені здається, ця вистава – це дуже досконалий, високого рівня.
It seems to me that this performance is a high-level masterclass, for example, in dancing. Here, a lot of attention is paid to the dancing parts.
Це саме виконанню танцювальних партій.
Great scenography, live music, Bernstein score, great movements. All of this can be called success, says the university rector Oleksiy Bazhin. But the most important is the actors' acting, which confirms that the students' theater is a living, mobile, developing organism. In the audience's plain view, sincere feelings and genuine emotions of young artists were born. My role is very interesting, and in general, it seems to me that everyone dreams of playing young while studying, meaning themselves at their age, hot and quick-tempered, just like the Spaniards. After all, we are from Puerto Rico. When you play this role, you mature as an actor, as a person in general. It's just that you get a kind of potential, it appears from somewhere, and it's amazing to play such a role.
Я, по-перше, це лідер у всьому.
My character is a leader in everything he does. Without my colleagues, without my rockets, I'm nobody. They chose me, and we fight. We fight for leadership. I got it not only by force, but also by cunning.
Не тільки силою, але й розумом.
The play was prepared for over 2 months, and recently they had to work 24/7. The students have created the performance step by step. The students tried to make a surprise to be remembered and to remain a bright page in the annals of the university's history.
Ця вистава, я вважаю, є візитівкою нашого.
I believe this performance is the hallmark of our educational theater this season. It is a huge success not only because it is well received by the audience, but also because the actors work professionally.
Професійно працюють.
Тому що це дуже цінно, коли ти виходиш на сцену, так?
Because it's very valuable when you go on stage. Yes, you worry a lot, you tremble, and you're very tense. But after that, so much gratitude and applause. And you understand that your life has meaning, and you will leave a mark in this world. And this is the most important and great feeling.
Ти залишиш після себе дуже багато. І це найголовніше.
І взагалі, я думаю, що
Generally, I think we should pay more attention to this young generation, the students. Everything starts here. There is passion, and the creative life at the university is alive. It is turbulent. I really enjoyed it.
в університеті воно пульсує, воно бурхливе. Мені це дуже сподобалося.
Student performances are usually short-lived, although those who are working on it invest all their energy and skills in these performances. Therefore, it's difficult for everyone to part with the performance. After all, everybody wants to believe that the story will continue. We will put efforts to continue playing it, perhaps on free stages or somewhere on tour. We want it to live longer. It's very important for us.
Дуже вдячний Ніжинському.
I am grateful to the Nizhny Theater for organizing a tour for us. This was the first tour, and it was the full house. We played this performance, there were tears. Well, it's all about acting. It's our family.
Сім'я.
Ну, дуже
It's very difficult to part with it. This makes us cry. We want it to live longer, at least a little longer, so that he can be shown to the audience again.
показувати глядачам.
Практично це
In fact, it's their last joint work. After all, it happens very rarely when a theater is created on the basis of the course, although there are such cases.
У всього є свій початок, є свій фінал.
Everything has its beginning and its end, but we will try very hard to delay this finale as long as we can, because the end of the 4th year of studying is not the final one for us. And our choreographer, Dmitro Karakuts, Anatoly Hostikoev, Evgenia Gulacka, and Natalia Sumska have united us into a team. Now we, as never before, feel this unity, and I believe we won't part in the nearest future.
Я думаю, що не скоро розпадемося.
Але все одно треба завжди.
But still, we always have to leave something, with sadness, but also with the joy that we did it. And it was difficult to get tickets for this performance. It was a full house, and people are still asking about the tickets.
Досі люди ходять і питають квиточки.
West Side Story is a musical in which great acting of young artists, modern choreography, and the main message that love is the most powerful element in the world are successfully combined. What is more, it also teaches adults an important lesson.